Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Rustl'd for the 11th of February 2018. We are just a couple days away from Valentine's Day. I don't know about you, but I got nothing planned. Right?
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
Whoa.
My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Rustl'd for...
There we go. At least the audio sounds good, right? Yeah, the audio sounds fan-fucking-tastic. Of course, this show is completely uncensored, no holds bar, anything is said, anything goes. And a lot of shit's going to be creepy as fuck, because that's how we do it here on the channel. So how was everyone's weekend? I hope everyone had a good one. I ended up going down to Portland, Oregon for the day yesterday. And man, traveling with a child is tough. So I was very exhausted today. I did not get anything done. Not that nothing that I could really get done. I didn't really feel there's a lot of good stories. Even now, I'm trying to figure out, like, I know kind of what I want to talk about, but at the same time, it's like, I'm a little bit stuck on some stuff. So if you know any cool stories, let me know. mundanemat.com/submit. I feel like there's just been not a lot crazy. I got a couple, obviously, Cernovich and Meg Turney and shit. So there's, that's interesting. Those are both very interesting. I just find the whole other thing to be crazy. Let me just bring up my stuff here. All right. So, yeah. Mundane After Midnight, coming to you live from the asshole of the internet. So, favorite Alex Jones video. There's a lot. That's actually, I would say my favorite Alex Jones video is one where he plays it relatively straight. And that, of course, is the Dark Secrets documentary where he breaks into Bohemian Grove. I just find that to be cool. I find that whole thing to be interesting. So, all right. Could Joe Arpaio win the Arizona Senate race? Maybe. Maybe, but he's a Republican. If John McCain doesn't retire, which, let's face it, the dude should probably retire. But if he doesn't retire, Arpaio probably won't win. One sec. Okay. Like, I thought I heard something in here, like the door was opening. So, hold on, Jose M. I'm the retweet of Black Panther being the first movie. Oh yeah. There's a lot of stupid shit surrounding the Black Panther movie. Oh, hey, what's up, normies at the gym? Good job. Signed, all fat people everywhere. You're the real heroes, the real MVP. That's what you guys are. Yeah, I heard about the Nightwing stuff, but at the same time, I might cover that tomorrow on $3 Theater. I overdid that on Friday. I did 11 stories on Friday, so that's a lot. I meant to segment everything out over yesterday and today. That didn't happen. So while we're going to be doing this, a whole bunch of videos from $3 Theater are going to be going out. So that's going to be pretty good. Chelsea Handler equated porn stars to child molesters. Why? If they're of age, who gives it? God damn it, Chelsea Handler. She makes everything a lot more difficult. Seriously. Chelsea Handler makes everything a lot more difficult. Okay, let's see. I'm just kind of looking through some stories that I might have missed. Disney ticket prices rise in Orlando. Nah. Okay. Nothing really good according to what's trending on the Facebook. Yeah. My daughter turned 10 weeks old today, so it kind of hit me that it's been like 10 weeks since I've gotten any real sleep, which really, really adds up after a while. It kicks your ass, man. It just totally kicks. It kicks your ass. It just kicks your ass. Lieutenant Dan, $2 super chat saying the gym staff are on to me. Let's see, I'm a dad you love, but my ability to incorporate memes into everyday conversation makes you want to kill yourself. So I'm doing my job then. Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about Meg Turney. I mean, like, I usually do like 5 stories, and there's a couple that like I feel that there's just like interesting things this weekend has not really been there. So I'm just trying to like quickly run through my general cadre of sources or cache of sources in order to be up and ready to go. Because usually I'm pretty good at this stuff. But okay. There's that story there. And RT. Okay. Couple. I don't just want to keep using like RT stories, but they got a couple interesting stuff here. Maybe not that one. There's always some stuff going on in the world, right? Okay. So, yeah. I'm just looking through. Oh, yeah, shit. There's movie stuff to talk about, too. There's always movie stuff. Son of a bitch. Alright, I'm just quickly... let's see. 14-year-old Florida boy just shot himself. That's fucking sad. That's fucking sad. I don't know. I mean, like, the thing is, it really sucks that there's a lot of stuff out there. You know, like, these kids always seem to get hurt, you know? It's unfortunate, man. It's just unfortunate. Okay. Yeah, again, if you guys have anything, hook me up. mundanemat.com/submit. Anything you want me to talk about, I will check it out. I will definitely check it out. Okay. Cops help. No, I was just checking my the website there. Balls, man. All right, well, we can chit chat. Didn't Zoe Quinn run for Senate? No, Zoe Quinn didn't run for Senate. Brianna Wu is running for Congress. Brianna Wu is running for Congress and shit. Any Cape Town updates? What was the Cape Town situation? You gotta remind me. What do I think about Brexit? I think Brexit is an idea that looks better on paper than it does in practice, and I think a lot of Britons are realizing that. Can you send me a sandwich, Mr. Shadow? You could send it to my P.O. box. I just can't guarantee I'm going to eat it. Actually, I do have a couple items I need to open. I got a couple P.O. box items here. I meant to open them up the other day. I want to get them earlier in the day. I got one right there. Ah, shit. Hold on. Trying to get this one. My cat knocked it off of the table. Or my... Slip Mad, you're running for Congress? And hold on, what was else here? Oh, god damn it, Jose M. Yes, I've heard that I look like the bad guy from Toy Story 2. Big Al. I've heard that I look like Big Al. I don't agree with that, but I have heard that. Okay. There we go. Both items. Okay, so we're going to do the unboxing real quick. Movies and Blu-ray. Yeah, I have to think of stories from when I was younger. The story time stuff. Okay, so I got this one here. I don't want to cover their name up. So this one here came in a while ago, actually. It was the first package I got. And I haven't opened it yet because I was waiting for some more because some people said they were sending some stuff that never came. So I just kind of sat on this for a while and ended up getting covered up and I just found it. So I feel bad because this person sent me this item and really want to see what it is. I also hate envelopes. Hate envelopes here. It looks like... Oh. Oh, it's a comic. All right. Couple comics, it looks like. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, there's a handwritten note in this full page handwritten note from a guy named David, which is really cool. Thank you, Dave. It says here, hello, Mundane Matt. I've been a big fan of your channel for more than a year now. You always have great content, and I agree with most of what you say. Oh, thank you. I especially agree with your stance against those that have come to be known as social justice warriors. I am also against them and their need to stifle creativity and impose their authoritarian control. 2 books I send with this letter are a testament to that. These books are of my own self-made, self-published opuses, or opie, question mark. Although my term for these authoritarians is censor monkeys, you can read all about them in these books. Like any self-published author and artist, I can use any and all publicity I can get. It would be ecstatic if you use your immense platform to give these books a plug. I'd gladly pay you if you wanted to make a full video about it even. We don't have to worry about that. If not, then totally feel free just to read them. But no matter what, please keep making the great content you've been making, and don't let anyone silence you. See you on YouTube, your subscriber, David. Well, that's really cool. He sent me two books here. The first one here is Jesus Needs Help. And it says on the back, if you like this comic or even you hate it, feel free to leave a comment on dmgermain.blogspot.com or send a message to duckrabbitducky at yahoo.com. Who uses a Yahoo? David, these are awesome. But a Yahoo? Really? Oh, this is nice. I was looking through. I'll definitely want to go through and read this, but it looks like it's going to be an interesting read. I should probably do a video reading through it on my side channel. That way I can further anger the Christians that do watch my videos. And I do anger them a lot. So you can also go to censormonkeys.blogspot.com, in which case this is the front of the comic book. Not racy at all. Not gonna catch the ire of the social justice warriors, but I have to say it's intriguing, and just based upon the cover, I want to know more. But as you can see inside, it is, oops, I can get it to work. Definitely drawn pretty well, and I'm gonna give this a read tonight. I need to find books to read for my daughter. I don't know if this is quite the book to read for, but David at censormonkeys.blogspot.com. Go check him out, because that's a very generous gift, a very nice comment, and a very nice thing to send my way. And I definitely am I'm very thankful for that. And so second, and everything else, I got a package here. This one is, I believe, more aimed at my daughter. So I know that sounds kind of bad. I was sent a message ahead of time. And this is from a patron who sent this off. So let's see what this is here. Oh, it's wrapped up. It oh, that's Star Wars bib. Oh my God, that is adorable. That is absolutely adorable. I have to, oh wow, I can't wait. She's not at this stage yet, but very soon she will be wearing this all the time. That is very cool. That is very, very, very nice. And then it looks like there's another piece here. There's no letter. There's no name. I think the gentleman's name is Thomas. Read my daughter go the fuck to sleep. Exactly. This is what looks to be. Oh wow, it's a burping rag. Same thing, same print. That is very, very cool. That's so nice. That's so nice. I'll have to send him the link to this, because I know he messaged me on Patreon. I just got the message. I haven't been getting messages from him in a while, so I'll have to send him up. That is so cool. A burping cloth, Star Wars burping cloth. That is very, very nice, very generous, and that both items are so personal. And that's one of the I guess you could say probably the coolest thing about what I do is people send me stuff like this. That's very personal to them, which I really, really, really like. And that's so cool, because there's so much goes into that, you know what I mean? And the fact that they want to share it is just awesome. I can't begin to you know, express how I feel about that. So no, Jose, it did not have Raylo on it. It did not have Raylo. That's very nice. That's very nice of them. That's a super cute bib. It's a great little thing. Yeah, that's very cool, man. That's very cool. I really appreciate it when people do that kind of stuff. I don't know what else to say. It's awesome. Like, thank you so much. I have to let him know where it's at. All right, bring up that. Trying to get all my ducks in a row still. I'm super ill prepared tonight, but that is not like me. I'm usually pretty solid on what's going down in the world today. But yeah, that's nice. I've shown my girlfriend. She's asleep right now. I think she'll get a real nice kick out of that, because who doesn't like that kind of stuff, right? Let's see. How do you even know? Like, what the hell? I'm looking at this list of news stories, and I'm all like, I have no freaking idea. What is? Okay, hold on. I know what I'm looking for here. Okay. All right, we're gonna have to go to Reddit. I know how bad that sounds. Like, Reddit. Oh, come on, Matt. Don't go to Reddit. Reddit's horrible. Reddit could be better. All right, what's on Kotaku in Action? They have some good stuff. Or what's on this one? All right. Oh, there we go. Okay. We will talk about some Comicsgate stuff, which I have kind of been a little bit dismissive of, just a little bit dismissive. But it seems like it's growing. It seems like it's growing. And okay. Now we're jumping over here real quick and bring up the chat again. There was a World War II. Wait, there was a. Well, wait, hold on. There was a World War II what found at the London City Airport? A World War II bomb found at London City Airport? Oh my god. DSP is streaming PUBG right now? Nah, leave DSP alone, man. Just leave Darkside Phil alone. Oh. Wow. That's an interesting tale. Okay, I'll put that. I have to find a creative way, a very creative way of titling that video for tomorrow, but that's definitely a good one. Thank you very much. I believe that was Curtis, right? Curtis sent that over. Yeah, thanks a lot, Curtis. Appreciate that. So really, the Senate passes a bill for automatic voter registration in Washington. That's been something going on for a while. Am I a fan of Razor Fist? I am. So that's, don't raid Razor Fist. I don't think he really deserves anyone's ire for the most part. Let's see. Medical marijuana passes VA Senate 40-0. That's good. U.S. Postal Service to unveil Mr. Rogers stamps next month. Not necessarily video worthy right there. Huh. Okay. Not much going on. There's one. A Michigan teenager expected to testify at rape trial is found dead. That's not good. Oh. I'll keep that one in the sidebar, because that's kind of like, I mean, like when I was doing the stories on Thursday night, I was getting like people like, yeah, these stories are pretty heavy, man. Like, they are pretty heavy. They are. Wow, over $60 billion of wiped off value of cryptocurrency Cryptocurrencies are definitely interesting right now. That's for certain. And I'm getting into... oh, there we go. There we go. That's the one. That's the one. Yep. All right. A little bit of a longer one, but we're gonna go through it. We are going to go... okay, we're going to talk about Christina Garcia. And that's been asked of me quite a bit, actually. To talk about... to talk about Christina Garcia. Alright, I'm just looking for... oh, what the hell? Come on. Alright. I don't quite know. No, that's not the good source. I'm trying to find like a decent source. Okay, there we go. That will work. That will work. Cool. We got our 5. Good. Good. All right. See, I was at like, yeah. So like I said, like I had to go out of town yesterday, and then I had today I was exhausted, and I had my brother's birthday was today. Lots going on all the time. Lots going on. Okay, so oil Russian. I already talked about Brexit. But I'm also a Yank. So my opinions on Brexit are like as useful as, you know, my opinions on Venezuela. You know, it's just not. I don't live in that country. I can't really, you know, I don't think people like it as much as they say that they do, but that's really about it. Riley Turner, you will get snaps for traps. Make no mistake about that, ladies and gentlemen. Snaps for traps are coming. They're coming, and they're coming hard. Like a porn star that's clearly not a child molester, according to Chelsea Handler. Hey, what's going on, respectable individual? Says, hello, my silly salamander. You know, funny thing is I actually saw there's a salamander in my driveway the other night. I pull in, and there was like this, I mean, it was a big salamander that was kicking at my driveway. I'm like, what are you doing here? Yeah, Kingdom Come, our Kingdom Come Deliverance comes out tomorrow night, if I can get it. I went to my local Best Buy. I was going to like put down the money on it today to pre-order it. And they can get it by Friday. Like they're just not getting any copies in the store, which is really weird. But Best Buy's been like that anyway. And then I was looking at, there's a website called Keymailer that if you stream games, like you can get free keys from free devs. Well, they just accredited my account, so I can actually apply. And Kingdom Come was on there, so I'm like, yeah, let me get a code for Kingdom Come, and I'll stream it. And I will too. I will totally do it. Do I cover purely US based stories, or do you cover other stories that aren't as big? Or Daniel, I pretty much do a lot of US based stuff. So the predominant audience of mine comes from California and Texas, right? That's the 2 states with the most viewership. So my largest audience, it comes out of there. And I can't tell you, I cannot for the life of me tell you why Texas. California, I thought because I live there, and I used to talk about California quite a bit, and I still do. So I don't quite know. But, so yes, predominantly like 95% of all viewings come from the United States. So I have to be very careful about that. You know what I mean? So it's like, because what I do is, and this is where okay, so here's the thing. If you are a potential up and coming YouTuber, right, and you want to do this as a career, I totally recommend it, right? I do. I recommend it. It's a lot of fun, but there's things to consider. And those things to consider essentially are this. When figuring out what you want to talk about, you kind of got to be specific. So, you know, having a niche sort of thing. I don't really have much of a niche on this channel in terms of what I talk about. I've got a niche for the news, obviously, but it's more of a scattershot thing. Whereas if I was talking specifically gaming or 3-Buck Theater, specifically movies, it has a more, you know, there's more people that are going to be interested in the individual topics because they fall in line with that. What I do here is kind of, it's what I refer to as a scatter shot, and it kind of covers a bunch of different stuff, which is cool in its own right. But at the same time, it's also like for growth, it makes it much harder to continuously build simply because, you know, not everything's going to interest everybody, you know? So what % are from Kentucky? All right, I'll look it up. I'll let you know. geographically where where people are coming from. Let me take a look here. Geography. The United States. Wait, hold on. Did I get a lot from United Kingdom? Okay, I do get oh, I do get a little bit from the United Kingdom, actually. I get more out of the UK than I do Canada. Okay. Let's see. What was the state there you want me to look at? Favorite porn star? I kind of have a thing for Mia Malkova. Let's see. Well, okay, Kentucky. Sorry, I forgot. Kentucky. Kentucky is 1.3% of my total United States viewerships come out of Kentucky. Over the course of the past 28 days, 88,559 minutes have come out of Kentucky, with a 90% male viewer count and 9.9% female viewer count. To give you an idea, as compared to, let's say, California, 942,372 minutes watched over the last 28 days have come, so, or 14% of my total view count has come out, or watch time has come out of California. Texas is 9.2%, and both California and Texas are about 89% male and 11% female. I'm actually been going up in my female demographic a little bit too, just a smidge. I've now crossed over into the 11% of my viewers are female, which is cool. Before I was like 95% men. Now it's been growing a little bit, and I have no problem with that whatsoever. Then of course, let's see, it's New York with what is it, 6%, Florida with 5.8%, probably because of the Florida Man videos I post, and you go from there. So yeah, I do get a fair amount. I do get a fair amount of stuff coming in. So Sacha Baron Cohen pays O.J. Simpson 20 grand to appear in film. Oh, holy crap. That's fucking funny, man. That is fucking funny. That is pretty damn good. So yeah, there's that. How many viewers are from North Korea? I'm going to say none. I'm going to say none. So, viewers from Illinois. Illinois is actually number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5 with 4.5%. So, Tennessee under 1%. Let's see, Tennessee is 1.8%. So, yeah, I get a fair amount. What's percentage for cunts down under? Let me see. Australia is 3.9%. Total 444,043 minutes watched. So I have a decent amount of Australian viewers. Canada is 7.5%. United Kingdom is 8.8%. Germany 2.4%. Let's see here. The lowest the lowest percentage here is wow. I get like, yeah. We're talking like less than 1% in like Ukraine, Slovakia. Israel is 0.2%. So yeah, I get around. I get around. No, the Breitbart link isn't bad. I'm not gonna talk about that tonight, but that's good to keep in mind. How many viewers from Wakanda? Oh man, I'm not woke enough for people in Wakanda. Ugh. So Hawaii. Okay, let me take a look. Let me take a look at Hawaii. I'll take a look at Hawaii. Kauai. Hawaii. That's lame as fuck. Lame as fuck. Okay, Hawaii is 0.4%. 0.4%, but it actually has one of the highest amount. Well, no, shit. Maine is 0.4%, with 37% of those viewers being female. That is right now the highest view count of females that I can find. That's insane, man. Like, usually it's mostly you know, mostly men. 37% is pretty high in Maine. Apparently with Maine viewers that are females, I've got a pretty good draw there. How many from Kansas? All right. I'll do the Kansas real quick. Kansas is 0.8%. Yeah, 0.8% in Kansas. Okay, Texas is number 2. Texas is number 2. Let's see. I think Oregon is definitely in my top because I was from Oregon. Let's see. Oregon is 1.8%. Texas is 9.2%. And what was the other one you asked me? Michigan. Michigan is actually 3.4%. So I can't tell you again. They don't give you much more information than that, but it allows you to know, like, you can see where things are coming in from. So it's kind of like playing to a certain state, right? So it's like crazy ass California news, crazy ass Texas news, Florida being number 4. I like Florida man stories. Those are always kind of fun. Those are always a fair deal of fun. I don't know if there's any viewers in Antarctica. No. So my main viewership in Maine is still men with like 63%. But it's normally like 85 to 90% men in every state. So the fact that in Maine, the viewership that's women is 37% is actually fucking high. Even though it only accounts for like 0.8% or something, it's a small number, but it's a pretty high amount in a small number. So it's pretty crazy. How many are in Burkina Faso? I don't know what that is, man. No, Kentucky's not the lowest in the United States. The lowest in the United States is, let me see. Come on. Bring it up, man. Alaska. Alaska, the bottom 5: South Dakota, Rhode Island, North Dakota, Delaware, Alaska. I have no appeal in any of those states at all. Probably for the best. I never go to any of those states. However, I went to Alaska like 2 years ago. So there's that. That's, it's funny, man. I find it to be funny personally. The whole thing is hysterical to me. Oh, there's already a fan edit of Justice League? What the hell? Oh my God. I just saw that thing real quick. Oh, great. All right, let's bring out the chat here. What percentage from Iowa? Hold on, let me take a look here. Jack Barnhart, $5 says, Adpocalypse Valentine's Day card. I'd never skip your pre-roll ads. That's a good one. It's a good one. I thought about doing, like, making some little, like, shorts for the ending, instead of just having, like, the standard outro card and, like, making, like, little humorous jokes at the end. But I'm not that entertaining, or I'm just not that creative right now. I'll probably pay someone to figure it out. Need more Alaskan viewers. Exactly. And the thing is, I love Alaska, man. I love Alaska. Yeah, I did hear that apparently Warner Brothers fired Zack Snyder, and that will be talked about tomorrow on $3 Theater. So, if you missed the Friday stream, those videos are coming out tonight and tomorrow morning too. How's my soundtrack searching besides Skyrim? A lot of good suggestions. Tonight I had her in the car, but she was out cold the entire time, so I just listened to YouTube Saints. Vault Boy says gunshots near his house. Wow. How many Japanese viewers? Okay, we'll take a look at Japanese viewers. That should be interesting. Okay, Japanese. Okay. Let's see what it says here. Geography. No, I don't want the... I want the geography, not just the states. Oh crap! It's only showing me now the states, not even showing me the country. Okay, give me Oh, damn it! Where is I can't for some reason find. Now I can't find it. Now I can't find. Okay. Show me the world, baby. Show me the world. It's just like, there we go. Okay, the world. All right, for Japan, where is that? Where's Japan? Japan, for the last 28 days, has seen a total watch time of 26 days and 18 minutes. So roughly, someone in Japan or people in Japan watch 1 day's worth of my content almost every single day. Let's see, and that puts it at 0.3%. Comes out of Japan, with predominantly the last 28 days in the United States. It has been 12 years, 331 days, to give you an idea of how things are. But it's good to understand your demographics, especially if you are trying to, become a channel and you want to push this kind of stuff. Number of percentage of viewers that are lobsters. I don't know who watch my videos that are Jordan Peterson fans. Sorry, I don't know. I wish I did, man. I wish I fucking knew. I wish I knew. Oh, what's going on? Oh, Alcade P says, I'm living in Japan at the moment. I watch your shit daily. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So, okay, you live in Japan. Let me ask you, has there been any update on the whole Logan Paul situation over there? Because I'm kind of curious. So, what's the largest South America? I don't know, man. South America viewer base. I'm going to say Brazil actually is 49 days of content watched. A lot of people in Brazil watch. Argentina gets 16 days. Chile gets 12 days. Uruguay gets 3 days. Man, who watches my content in Uruguay? Suriname gets 20 hours. Guyana gets 5 hours. Let's see. Venezuela gets 2 days, 19 hours. Probably those videos I have supporting Bernie Sanders. Colombia gets 7 days. Ecuador gets 2 days. Wow, there's people who watch. That's so crazy. Cuba, I might actually say is the shortest amount of time, with 15 minutes and 58 seconds over the span of the last 28 days. Cuba comes in very, very, very low, and that is awesome. Oh, that's great. Let's see. I'm looking for 15 minutes. I mean, come on. Even Iceland gets more than that, you know? Like Iceland gets 5 days. Svalbard and Jan Mayen, I don't know what the hell that is. That's an island. They get 4 hours and 38 minutes. Russia, 14 days. Apparently Russia's okay with me. Norway gets 62 days. Sweden gets 139 days. Finland is 91 days. Germany, 193. France, 29. People in France don't like me, apparently. But in Germany, I might do all right in terms of seeing from France. United Kingdom gets a kick out of me. Ireland, 56 days. Spain is 22 days. Portugal, 27 days. Wow. The Portuguese dig me. Looking through. What do we got? Italy, 17 days. Yeah. 4 days. I mean, yeah, there's people. I mean, Niger beats out Cuba. 1 minute and 12 seconds. That is how long one person made it into a video of mine in Niger, or Niger, if you really wanted to pronounce it that particular way. Obviously, for the reasons behind them wanting to pronounce it Niger, made up for it. I mean, Nigeria got 2 days worth of content. What's this over here? This country is currently undetermined. Nothing there. South Sudan. Oh, nope. South Sudan. 27 seconds. That's a, hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarb. Welcome to the Monday Matt channel. Click off. They're done. Ethiopia. There's the internet in Ethiopia, and they've gotten 1 hour and 31 minutes. Somalia, 3 hours. Kenya, 2 days. Tanzania, 11 hours. Uganda, 2 hours. Congo, 2 hours. Zambia, 1 hour. Mozambique, 2 hours. Zimbabwe, 20 hours. Botswana, 14 hours. Namibia, or Namibia. Am I saying that right? I don't know how to say it. I thought it was Nambia or Namibia, whatever. 14 hours. Let's see. Yeah. South Africa, 23 days. Madagascar, 25 minutes. 25 minutes. New Zealand, 51 days. Australia, 309 days. Papua New Guinea, 24 minutes. You can see that I tend to do better in English-speaking countries. So there's definitely that. That's fascinating. That's fascinating. Like I said, Canada's pretty good. That's pretty funny, man. Do I have any viewers in North Korea? Okay, let me take a look here. North Korea. Shit, I gotta remember where the fuck North Korea is. Okay, there's China. 2 hours and 10 minutes in China, by the way. Thailand, 9 days. Cool beans. Myanmar, 3 hours. Bangladesh. Where the fuck is goddamn Korea? Oh, it's over here. Let's see. South Korea, 9 days, 10 hours. North Korea, nothing. North Korea is so nothing, it doesn't even show up as being North Korea on the map. It doesn't at all. But apparently in Mongolia, people watch me for about 10 hours. It's interesting when you look at this as being what it is, and you go like, man, wow, that's pretty cray. That's pretty crazy that people all over the world have seen this face, and for that I apologize. So anyway, we've gone we've definitely Namibia. Is that it? Namibia? Is that it? Is that how you pronounce it? GK, if I could talk, fuck. So Rex Wolf says he's running for mayor in Missouri as a pirate. Do I think he will win? Yes. I do. You have to have the parrot and the eye patch, though. You have to go full-blown stereotype. That's how you win. So that is how you win. That's how you do it. That's how you get in there. Okay, so let's all right, let me take a drink here. We'll jump into the first story. So, mostly because I gotta be done by before midnight. So that's gonna be a thing. I'm probably gonna be starting a little bit earlier. In the weeks coming ahead, as early as probably 9 p.m. in some cases, in order to let my girlfriend get a little bit of sleep. So, all right, let me just bring that up here. Studio mode. Okay. I did not even do my hair tonight. What is up with that? This shows you how crazy it's been. But someone, this is funny. Somebody actually made a tweet today saying that my videos are like top tier in terms of production value. I would like to know which world this person is living in. to be perfectly honest with you, I like to know which world this person is living in. Okay. All right. Okay, let me bring up the first story here. We're going to jump over. Start recording. All right. Enter that. Okay. Remember, guys, say it with me now. Snaps. 4. Traps, baby. Over the course of the past couple months, I have rallied pretty heavily against the Me Too movement. The video I did the other day about Jill Messick, the executive producer who took her life as a result of being dragged into the conflict between Rose McGowan and Harvey Weinstein really got me angry. And I think I put a lot back on the Me Too movement in terms of how it is not a movement, it is a witch hunt, and one that is echoed throughout the internet. And it's what's interesting and almost to an extent great about this story right here is that it shows you how volatile and destructive the movement is, and why it absolutely positively cannot be allowed to gain any level of prominence because of stuff like this, because this is how bad it's going to get. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be a reckoning against sexual harassment or assault or abuse inside Hollywood. There absolutely needs to be, but not when it's like this. You cannot like knee-jerk react to these claims, because you get what happened to Joe Messick, and then you also get the little bit of hypocrisy here, with two men accuse Assemblywoman Cristina Garcia, a vocal Me Too ally, of sexual harassment. Oh. She was on the other foot. Now, right, look at this face. No, not me. Hashtag Me Too. Anyway, it says here, Assemblywoman Cristina Garcia, one of the most prominent voices for women's rights in the California legislature, has been accused of groping young legislative staffer in 2014. Politico reported that a former staffer, Daniel Fierro of Cernovich, said Garcia, a Democrat from Bell Gardens, cornered him after the annual Assembly softball game in 2014 while he was cleaning up the dugout. He said Garcia, who appeared to be drunk, stroked his back, squeezed his buttocks, and tried to grab his crotch before he was able to leave. Now, this is an interesting thing. Just off this first little segment here, how many people are going to come out and be like, didn't happen? Didn't happen. And then, of course, as a result of the accusation, leave it simply at that. That's what you have to look out for. Those who come out and look at this accusation against her, just based on this first paragraph, that don't act, but still called for the firing of Aziz Ansari or Kevin Spacey or Louis C.K. All three very different situations inside the Me Too movement in terms of being accused, but, still all under that same banner. It'll be interesting to see what happens from this. When you shake that tree, what falls out, right? Anyway, Garcia acknowledged in a statement sent to reporters that she was at the event, but had zero recollection of engaging in any unacceptable behavior. Well, alcohol is a hell of a drug or a substance. It is. I've been drunk and forgotten stuff tons of times. Allegations rocked the Capitol, which for months have been grappling with a movement to stamp out a culture of permissive and inappropriate sexual behavior, often acts perpetrated by powerful men against junior female staffers and lobbyists. But when the shoe's on the other foot, isn't it? I'm not going to lie. It actually makes me feel better that the shoe is on the other foot this time around. Go, ha ha ha, it can happen to men too. Men can be victims. And I'd love to see that on a bumper sticker. Men can be victims of sexual violence or sexual assault, because it would cause a huge stir depending on where it is you are driving that vehicle. And it's true, absolutely true. People like to sit there and act like men can't be victims of this, and it's just such a cop-out bullshit thing. Now, the claims against Garcia could harm the very cause for which he's carried the mantle, said Jessica Levinson, an ethics and election law expert at Loyola Law School, saying you could never buy this much good opposition to the Me Too movement. It's such a blow because it gives the opposition so much fodder. It's kind of a Greek tragedy that they're taken down by the exact kinds of allegations they're fighting against. And as we've learned over 3+ years of Gamergate now, 3.5 years essentially of Gamergate, that those who oftentimes rally the loudest against these type of events, right? Like Gamergate, a movement for ethics in video games journalism. And a lot of the critics were people that were coming out there saying it was misogynistic hate movement towards women to get them out of gaming. When people are like, what are you talking about, dude? We just want people to disclose who they're banging. Like, that's it, right? But, not saying don't do it, just disclose it. Jeez. But then we find out that many of them, and I mean many of them, are guilty of the exact same thing they rally against, which really should make you look at everything these people are saying, and the squeakiest wheel will be like, you've probably got the dankest skeletons in your closet, because it's true. It's just true. Now, the Fierro did not report the incident at the time, but in January, inspired by the Me Too movement, he told his former boss, Assemblyman Ian Calderon. Calderon reported the incident to Assembly Rules Committee, which launched an investigation. The political news site also quoted an unnamed lobbyist who said she sexually propositioned him last May and tried to grab his crotch at a political fundraising event. So she propositioned him last May. This is the second person. And she also tried to grab his crotch. That's her go-to move. That's her, showing you, I want your business in my business, right? Like, or I want you to put your bill in my ledger. Yeah, that's how I take that, right? That's her move. What kind of move is that too? To run up on someone and be like, stroke the back, like, how's it going, Taylor? Ooh, you got a nice cantaloupe. I could take a bite out of that. And then like you just like gradually like, caress the edge of the penis. Like, oh, oops, what am I doing? I mean, like, is it hard? Are you hard? Because we can take care of that right here. Like that's kind of how I take it. It's like that brush against the crotch. And you've heard stories like this too. Women will say, and this is true, and in no way am I discounting this. You'll hear women say like, I was at a party and this guy kept brushing up against me, right? Trying to touch my breasts and my ass. And you'll hear about that, right? And then the thing is, you probably know dudes that do that. I know people who have done that, and I gave them a lot of crap over it when they did. But this exact same mood happens here, where she runs up and she's like, but very blatantly, like runs her hands across the junk. Like, is there movement? Is it alive? Do I need to perform CPR on it? Because I totally will. Like, that's what I take from that. Now, it says here, every complaint about sexual harassment should be taken seriously, and I will participate fully in any investigation that takes place, said Garcia in a statement sent to reporters in response to inquiries. The details of these claims have never been brought to my attention until today. I can confirm that I did attend the 2014 legislative softball game with a number of members and my staff. I can also say I have zero recollection of engaging in inappropriate behavior, and such behavior is inconsistent with my values. Well, being inconsistent with your values doesn't mean that it's not something you're going to do. People get a little bit loopy when they're under the sauce, right? They do. They get a little bit cray-cray when they've had a little bit too much to drink. I mean, we all have moments in our life where we can sit there and go, what did I do last night? And you're like, dude, you're playing a drinking game and these girls pulled out a dildo and they dared you to put it in their mouth and then they took a picture of it. Oh no. Oh no. Right? Like, we all have been there or have friends who have been there. That's a story that happened to a friend of mine. I know, because I saw it. The point is like, people do dumb things when they're hammered and they don't always remember. Now, this is where she says on January 26 about the Me Too movement. No one should have to wait for an investigative article to know the truth about the kind of environment they work in. I'm working with SEIU 1000 on a bill to create a centralized mechanism to track sexual harassment complaints in a state government. So essentially saying, you should know the environment you work in, and we're working on ways to combat that. Like, never has that have anything to do with me, but there we go. But she goes on to say, because we can't change workplace culture without getting a better assessment of what's really going on. And the current system fails to give policymakers, taxpayers, and employees a full picture of the problem. Well, a full picture of the problem is kind of like your hand groping someone's hot dog. That seems like pretty much a full picture there, right? One time you could understand you're making a bold play for a guy. You stroke his back, you grope his butt, you look at his junk like it's just, you're at a ball game. So you're thinking like, ooh, I just want the Franks and beans, and you look at it again, you're just like, yeah, and then you do it again to somebody else, but you've no recollection of that. The Jeremy Piven response is always good. Anyway, shortly after the story broke, Senator Connie Leva, a Democrat from Chino, who was vice chairwoman for the California Legislative Women's Caucus, issued a statement calling on Garcia to take immediate leave of absence until the investigation is complete, saying, as a vocal ally of the Me Too and We Said Enough movements, I am shocked and disturbed at the very troubling allegations related to California Legislative Women's Caucus Chair Cristina Garcia. Anyone proven to have sexually harassed or assaulted another person, regardless of their gender, should be held accountable for their actions. I commit to continue fighting to rid the Capitol and our state of the pervasive culture of sexual harassment, assault, and overall disrespect. So, and then it goes on to say that Garcia is also a member of the Assembly Select Committee on Women in the Workplace. So you get this woman who's vocal Me Too supporter on, in the Women's Caucus. She's the chair of the Women's Caucus. And it's funny to say the word caucus over and over and over and over and over again. Women's caucus kind of sounds like chicks with dicks, but I'm just saying. And then she's also on the committee for women in the workplace. And yet here she is being accused by two people independently of one another that she has done this. Now, listen, I don't know if she's done this or not done this. I don't know. But I'll tell you what I do want: a full investigation into it. Do I think she should step down from her job until then? No, I don't. I don't think anyone should step down while they're being accused of something. I think that, accusations should be innocent until proven guilty. If she's done it, then yes, let her step down. Let her be put on leave at that point in time. But we have to make sure that these accusations can be thoroughly vetted and not life-destroying until, well, due process can take place. But we don't live in that world right now. Now, Garcia, 38, a native of Bell Gardens in Los Angeles County and a former math teacher, was elected to the assembly in 2012. She has filed papers to run for re-election in the June 5th primary, but has also been talked about as a potential state Senate candidate. She was one of the women who signed the open letter in 2017 decrying sexual harassment of women by powerful men in California government. These accusations are the latest against current and former state legislators. Assembly Democrats Raul Bocanegra and Matt Dababneh, both of the San Fernando Valley, the Valley, resigned in late 2017 amid sexual misconduct scandals. State Senator Tony Mendoza is on leave during an investigation into allegations of inappropriate behavior towards young interns. Others facing allegations include Democratic Senator Bob Hertzberg of Van Nuys. Van Nuys kind of makes sense, to be honest with you. Assembly member Autumn Burke of Inglewood, and Republican Assemblyman Travis Allen of Huntington Beach, who is running for California governor. Burke admitted to investigators that she, according to a document made public February 2nd, participated in appropriate conversation regarding anal sex with Capitol office staff. So an inappropriate conversation about butt play. Look, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying I think everyone watching this can sit there and agree that you've had inappropriate conversations at work, right? Like, my former boss would carry around a picture in his wallet, and I've mentioned this before, but I'd love to bring it up. My former boss would walk around with, it's in his wallet right now, guarantee. I could call him on the phone right now and be like, you got that picture? But it's a picture of him and his brother in a bar in Longapo, Thailand on Christmas Day, like 1976, and they're surrounded by hookers. It's his most prized possession, because he's like, I banged her, I banged her, I banged her, I banged her. He was into it. He was my boss. He was sharing the story with me from when he was in the Navy. I thought it was funny. A lot of us thought it was funny. We've also heard it enough times to be able to tell you the story, to tell you the story by heart. The point I'm trying to get to here, I don't know if this woman has in fact done what she's accused of doing. But at this point, it should show you that this is why due process should not die. As much as I am not a fan of Donald Trump, his comments about Ryan Porter and that other speechwriter dude needing due process and asking if due process is dead is something I actually agree with. Because we need to never, ever question due process. Because if we allow that to happen, if we allow witch hunts to take place, all we're going to do is burn a whole bunch of innocent people and ultimately never make our lives any bit better. It's true, man. True. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Okay. All right. So, yeah, that was an interesting story, right? And I have no idea if she's done it or not. I just, I want her to, I want her to get due process. I feel like everyone deserves due process, and if we don't get it, then we're just kind of screwing ourselves. We're just kind of screwing ourselves a little bit here, and we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't. We should definitely all ask for it. Even people that we don't like, and we're kind of laughing at the situation. Which, let's be fair, I'm laughing at the situation too. But this is a person who is still a person, and we gotta, do all that. So, oh wait, that guy T is in the building. That guy T, oh nice. I want to meet him one day if I ever make it out to the East Coast, to Atlanta. No, that chick, the Stone Bleeds, that chick is already in office. So there's definitely that. So. Yeah, that guy T. Yeah, we'll talk about the Cernovich thing. All right, Since you're here, I was going to save it for later, but since you're here, we'll talk about the Cernovich thing. I think that'll be interesting. Yep. I'm vaping. All right. I did hear about this tonight on the YouTube Saints. I did not know this existed. And I heard about it. I'm like, that's going to be something I'm going to talk about. Because it's going to be funny. It's going to be real funny. All right. You know, Gamergate has done a lot of things, I think, for the betterment of the internet as a whole. I do. I really feel like Gamergate opened a lot of people's eyes to a lot of BS involving the regressive left and social justice warriors, as well as situations involving unethical practices with video game journalism. And as much as I always have emphasized that Gamergate was for ethics in video game journalism, it also had a big portion of it that was about trying to expose social justice warriors. And this is kind of where I have an interesting love-hate relationship with Mike Cernovich, because I look at Mike Cernovich as a person who's very much tried calling this kind of regressive behavior out, but at the same time is such a douchebag that it makes any kind of potential like I have for this guy just go right out the freaking window, especially now. Like, because when he first came on the scene at the end of 2014, it was like, oh, here's a lawyer coming into Gamergate. Here's this dude that everyone's calling Juice Bro, and he doesn't care. He's saying all this crazy stuff, but he's a lawyer fighting for Gamergate. And at the time, that's really all that mattered to some people. Man, had we only known, right? Had we only known. Anyway, it says here that he's running for Congress, or talking about it at least. Now, prominent right-wing blogger Mike Cernovich has spurred speculation that he might run for Congress. The platform he hinted at on Twitter would include student loan debt reform and investigation of Hollywood sex abuse. Two things I actually highly agree with. The reason why I agree with student loan debt reform has a lot to do with the fact that the average student who graduates with a bachelor's degree walks away about $37,000 in debt. And the thing is, there's not the jobs there for them in order to pay that off. So they simply just accrue a lot of interest. And then the Hollywood sex abuse, I believe, that's just pretty self-explanatory. I'm totally on board with that being exposed and brought to light, using the same due process that I want to see in the Me Too movement. Now, in a series of tweets on Friday, Cernovich laid out his platform. The most prominent proposals include enabling students conned into the higher education scam to discharge their debt in bankruptcy court, and holding hearings about the Hollywood casting couch practices and pedophilia. And again, I agree with both of these things. Those, I would say that kids are conned into going to college. They are. They're like told all throughout, elementary, middle school, high school, you got to go to college, you got to get an education. They should be telling them to go to a trade school, but they don't. They say go to college, go to university, and it ends up, I think, costing kids a lot more money than necessary. And so, yeah, it is a scam, and you cannot file for bankruptcy on student loan debt, which is just weird to me. And at the same time, we're like 17 trillion in student loan debt right now. Or not, it's not 17 trillion. There's like a lot. I think it's like $1 trillion in student loan debt. I don't know why I said 17, but it's like $1 trillion in student loan debt. But it earns us an annual $1 billion a year in interest is what it earns. So, the 1 billion to 1 trillion thing, it just feels like that's going to do well. And those numbers could be off. Those are what I remember from a while ago. As for the casting couch practices and pedophilia, get rid of that stuff. So if Cernovich could sit there and do it, that'd be good. At the same time, though, he doesn't, if I recall, if he's not running in Hollywood, in that, I don't know if his district where he lives, which I do believe is south of Los Angeles, like Laguna area, like Laguna Beach area, if I recall correctly, is not the same district. So, it wouldn't be, he'd be able to talk about it, but he wouldn't be able to do much about it. He also said he would champion importation of life-saving prescription drugs from Canada and reveal the names of members of Congress who settled sexual harassment lawsuits using taxpayer money, as well as the amounts paid in those settlements. Two things, again, I also agree with. Which really sucks because Cernovich is not a reasonable person, and here he's sounding like a very reasonable person. But then again, it's entirely possible that everything Cernovich does is a gigantic act in order to make sure that you know that he is Mike Cernovich. He is the gorilla mindset. He is a dude who has talked openly about basically consuming his own semen for medicinal purposes and the addictive nature of his semen when a map of Hawaii is made on a young lady's stomach, I guess. I don't know. But he's brought that up a lot. His blogs are very interesting. I mean, not in a good way. It kind of reads like an assaulter's, MO. But he does say here that Cernovich lives in Orange County, district represented by Dana Rohrabacher, and says he has no plans to challenge him in the primaries. Instead, he suggested he could run for Paul Cook's seat in California's 8th district, but only if the 74-year-old decides to retire, according to the Los Angeles Times. So, okay, that would make more sense. So he's not going to leave where he's at, but he'll move to another district, establish himself, and run against the previous incumbent there, if that incumbent chooses to retire. But a 74-year-old, you're going to think they're probably going to go to retire. Now it says here, can I take on the Republican Party machine? Get real? No, 0%. But if there are 10 people running in the primary and the establishment is split among them, I'm competitive in a 10-way knife fight, then we're in the game, which does make sense. It's kind of like the idea when everyone ran for governor of California, like myself back in 2003. I ran on a joke platform because I won a radio station contest, but a lot of people out there didn't. Gary Coleman, Mary Carey, Larry Flint was running. Obviously Schwarzenegger run, but there was like 300 some people that were running for governor of California at that time. And it was, not anyone's game. Schwarzenegger had the backing of the Republican Party in California, as well as his own popularity. Even though Schwarzenegger ran as a GOP, he's straight up a Democrat. Like, he is super close to center in terms of being a lefty, but just still, running as a Republican. And that was the whole thing with that. So ultimately, that's kind of where we are with that. But he says here, running for Congress is utterly taxing emotionally and financially, and that he would only run if there was a real shot of winning. Running as a PR stunt for media is stupid. But then again, this is Cernovich, so everything he does is a PR stunt for media. So it's one of those things where, can you take him at absolute face value? Because again, this is a guy that has said that, Pizzagate was a real thing, that there were child sex slaves essentially in the dungeon of Comet Ping Pong. And then after the whole situation with Edgar M. Welch going to the pizzeria and clearing it out by firing some shots into the ground and then trying to find the basement where this sex slave dungeon was at, couldn't find anything, realized that, he had been taken by people like Cernovich and Alex Jones, and directly cited Alex Jones in InfoWars as information, as right where he got this info from. Cernovich is like, whoa, man. Whoa. I never said that. You boys is funny, man. I never said no such thing, except, here, this is a fun one. We won't go through it, but this is just to give you an idea as a quick detour on the video. This is CernovichLeaks.com. CernovichLeaks.com, where it's deleted tweets, videos, and articles from Mike Cernovich, which gives you an idea that either this dude is straight up kayfabe, or he is playing one of the, he is a huge freaking troll. He's got a video here, audio here about how to get arrested for rape. He gets red-handed caught in the Pizzagate lie, and this is where he gets caught straight up. He wants to weaponize his followers. I mean, there is a lot here, and a lot of this is very much kind of edited for effect in terms of the person running this website doing it as a way to smear Cernovich, but his own words are used against him, especially in the Pizzagate thing. And this is not a person who, it doesn't matter if this guy is a troll or not, if he's an Andy Kaufman or not. I don't want him anywhere near the Congressional House. Same with like Brianna Wu. All right. And so him saying that he wants to run for this is straight up a PR stunt. PR. It is. Now it says in another tweet on Friday afternoon, he says he's been watching the map and setting the table for a run, if not in 2018, then in 2020. I would argue it may not be a little bit too late for 2018, but 2020 would feel more appropriate, simply because he could run on trying to use Trump as a thing. Now it says during the 2016 election, Cernovich rose to prominence as the blogger behind the hashtag Hillary's Health after Hillary collapsed at the 9/11 memorial ceremony. Last November, he obtained documents about sexual harassment claims against Representative John Conyers and handed them over to BuzzFeed News. 2 weeks later, Conyers announced he was retiring from Congress. Though a vocal supporter of President Donald Trump, he's also been an outspoken critic of some policies, from the March 2017 airstrikes in Syria to amnesty for immigrants brought into the U.S. illegally as children. One of the 4 pillars of immigration reform was recently proposed by the White House. Some Democrats have become alarmed by the mere possibility of Cernovich on Capitol Hill. So somebody did register a Cernovich for Congress domain and put up a parody website. I'm saying here, "Hi guys, my name is Mike Cernovich, and I'm running to be a congressman in Washington, D.C. Here's a little about me. I like to work out, I like to vlog, and I hate pedophilia. There's nothing else you need to know about me because I'm a nice guy. And I hope I can count on your vote. Thank you." Of course, yeah, parody side all the way around. Cernovich as a whole is a person, I know a lot of people that like him. I know he's become very prominent in terms of being a right-wing commentator. Some of his previous blogs are very interesting when you start getting into the whole topic of nootropics and whether or not he does actually ingest his own ejaculate. That's something I'm still pretty positive that he does, my opinion at least. And there's a lot going on with him that is just makes you really question if this is a troll, right? But at the same time, he's good at branding. I will give him credit there. And people know Mike Cernovich's name. You can go talk to a random person out there and probably mention Mike Cernovich. And I have, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I've heard of him." So he's good at keeping his name out there. And obviously by doing this video, I am clearly giving him what he wants. But I hope that he doesn't actually run. I do. I really freaking do. I don't want him in Congress. I don't want Brianna Wu anywhere near Congress. I want level-headed people that actually care more about the American public and our democracy than trying to fuel their own agenda down the road. And that is exactly what I would see as Cernovich. Even though his policies here are sane and stuff I do agree with, he's not the person to usher them in. Not by a damn long shot. So there you go. There you go. That's Cernovich for you, man. That's Hi, I'm Mike Cernovich. I did say eats. I said no. AW. I didn't say eats his own ejaculate. I said ingests his own ejaculate. There is a difference. We need to build a wall and push Congress into Mexico. I don't know if that's gonna be what you want. I've heard something about Alex Jones running for Congress. That would just be super freaking fascinating. Oh. All right, let me bring that over there. Okay. Yeah. Bailey J ate her own ejaculate once. Not that I would know or anything. Oh, give you one instance that Anita did not make an ass out of herself. Oh, yeah, I don't think you're talking to me, but I can't think of one. Stone bleeds every time. Every time. I'm fully aware what you're trying to make me do. You know the rules. You want the 14 words. I want $50 USD. 50 USD. That's how it plays. Did I hear about the time? Oh yeah, I meant to mention the Sam Cedar comments. I did. I meant to mention the Sam Cedar comments. I totally forgot about that. But yeah, that's true. That's very true. Cernovich did in fact do that. All right, guys, we got 226 people here watching. That is fantastic. I can't thank you all enough for coming in tonight. But we only got 72 likes. 72. We need that. We need 28 more likes. 28 more likes in order to get to the 100 like mark, which would be fantastic out there. Also, because I am a shill and I do have bills to pay, if you would like to support the channel, the best way to do so is not through Patreon, or not through, totally Patreon, but not through Super Chats. Streamlabs.com/Monday and Matt is a good way if you want to get past that pesky 30%. and I can get your message, read it live on air, as well as everything else. But if you want to do super chats too, perfectly fine with that. A lot of fine people have donated, and that is kind of my shilling for right now. There will be a t-shirt. I'm getting a merch store here pretty soon. I just still working on the artwork for that. That's going to be a thing. That's going to be something coming up. A lot of the artwork crap. So there's definitely that one. Also, just because we're here and I'm still shilling, there is a link for the Discord in the video description. If you guys want to jump on there and come into the to the community that has kind of formed around this show, as well as me being an internet personality, is a great place to go. Also, when I do live call-in shows, which I want to start doing about once a week now, that is where you're gonna have to go to get into the live call-in show, and then we can talk live on air in front of people, or off air when I jump into a chat there and we have a conversation. So something to consider. And with that being said, now that I've taken the break out of the way, let's get right back into the news. Ooh, hey, 110 likes. You fuckers did good. The 9 of you who disliked, though, I appreciate your service, because ultimately it doesn't have much of an impact. So Streamlabs is best donate. That's right. Streamlabs doesn't take any. Wait, Mr. Wise asks, why aren't you a mod? Where did I put that? Weren't you a mod before? Actually, Super Chat, no, was it? Streamlabs doesn't take anything. It's a PayPal donation, essentially. They only charge you, I think, if you're going to do, like, the emoticons and type stuff. And if you want to see your name scrolling on the top part of the screen on this particular page, Streamlabs, that's where your name goes. So Super Chat goes away. Streamlabs does not. See the permanence there? How much fun it is to see your name in big, bold print flashing on my video for the whole world to see. The 220 of you that are in here. It's fantastic. It's amazing. It will totally solidify your place in this world. I feel like such an asshole. Like, you know, like, I mean, obviously it's fun to talk about, but it's like, you know, I always get to that point where I feel like a dick. It's like a huge big old dick. So there's that. Okay, let me just bring that up here. All right, we got ourselves a little bit of a long one here. Let's go to the next story here, because this is kind of a fun one. Well, not really a fun one, but it goes to show you what the hell is going on. Let's move down a little bit, just that. There we go. Apparently, it was zoomed in my face a bit too much. It happens. Okay, so a lot going on. Comicsgate. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ingy Bingy 2000. Have I seen the Thunderfoot one on Kilroy? I did. I was laughing. I'm like, how did he get so much wrong? And he still found a way to add in Anita. Like, I like Thunderfoot. I always have liked Thunderfoot. And I don't think I'll ever not like Thunderfoot. But I was shaking my head at that video. I'm like, oh, come on, dude. I just, you know, he didn't even really address the root of the problem, or a lot of what went down. He just, yeah, he filled type stuff. Anyway, snaps for traps, guys. Snaps for traps. Okay. All right. So Comicsgate is something that I have been criticized for dismissing, and I acknowledge that I did. I'll be fair. When Comicsgate was first kind of presented to me, I didn't really see much going on there from what I would like maybe attribute it to, but it's been ongoing for months. There's been so much crap happening. I haven't really kept up with it, and for that I do apologize. But it does appear that a lot of people like Diversity in Comics, a good YouTuber you should check out, and a lot of other channels have been really trying to like nail this stuff, and they're doing a good job. And as a result of that, we're seeing a little bit of censorship, kind of, in the form of DC Comics and comic book subreddits bans all Comicsgate discussion. Simply because they don't like it. They can't handle the heat anymore. And it's just unfortunate. It's super unfortunate that these kind of discussions get banned. And when Gamergate was going on, we got banned off of 4chan. That's hardcore. Getting banned off of 4chan? How does one even get remotely removed from 4chan? You can go on there and find photos of like people having sex with dead corpses. Fine. You talk about Gamergate and it's all like, get the fuck out, you know? Anyway. Says here, if you visit social media site Reddit and check out some of the comic book subreddits, such as one for DC Comics and the official comic book subreddit, and combined they have nearly 750,000 subscribers, you won't be able to discuss Comicsgate on those boards. Both subreddit communities have banned all discussion of Comicsgate, likening it to Gamergate, which was also widely banned and censored across almost all major gaming communities during its peak. The news was discussed by YouTuber Diversity in Comics, who did a video about the censorship. And again, Diversity in Comics is a good guy. You should check out Zach's work. It says here that over on the DC Comics subreddit, there's a public service announcement from the moderator. This ought to be good. It says, in recent times, I'm not going to do it like that. Anyway, in recent times, there's been rumblings coming from the Twitter sphere and other parts of the internet towards that world of the funny books. This includes threats and advocacy of violence towards creators and other professionals in the field. In recent weeks in particular, there has been a campaign of targeted harassment in comics, especially against women, people of color, LGBT writers, artists, colorists, editors, and journalists. This is for what happens to be the crime of wanting to increase diversity and representation. This is being spread through Comicsgate. You gotta love that. Just that opening, that opening salvo of a remark there, right? That's like so stupid. You know, it's like, oh no, it's all harassment. Yeah, I'd like to kind of like, you know, I like to say like numbers ultimately don't lie. And if you go and you look at like all of like the pro SJW comics books from Marvel's like 2016 and 2017, they're all gone now. Why? Because nobody bought them. Nobody wanted your political narrative, your political ideology pulled from your ass and shoved down their throat. Nobody wanted that. Hence why at this point Comicsgate begins. Now we're talking censorship. This is where it starts blowing up. This is where it can hit peak levels of crazy and send comic book fans into a rage over this stuff. This says, over here at our DC Comics, we see this for exactly what it is. We find it to be the worst kind of disingenuous gatekeeping. Oh, really? Really? You're going to sit there and tell me that that this Comicsgate discussion is disingenuous gatekeeping, right? But you know, Make Mine Milkshake wasn't? The crap done to Ethan Von Shriver isn't? Like, come on, dude. What is wrong with you, you idiot? Targeted at the creators, the professionals, and finally fellow readers. We stand against those who have taken a page from the harassment books of other hashtag gates and say definitively, there is no room for it in our sub, and we are making the stand here. We will exercise discretion and remove as seen fit any Comicsgate material. We are not and have never been afraid to ban for Rule 1 violations. So by all means, try us. Yes, yes. I'd like to take you guys back to August 18th, I believe, 2014. The day that not so much Gamergate began, but what kind of led to Gamergate was happening. A few key items. My video was taken down through a false DMCA. And our gaming, the largest gaming subreddit on Reddit, was talking about the Zoe Quinn issue. And you had comments being deleted by not just the tens or hundreds or thousands, literally by the tens of thousands. You were able to see these comments being deleted in real time. And the reason why this was happening was because Zoe Quinn and her friend Patrick Klepek, who at the time worked for Giant Bomb, now writes for Waypoint with Rolling Stone. So we're talking with one of the moderators of our gaming on Twitter openly, by the way. This is all archived. And they were getting him to essentially delete all these things. Or, well, maybe not getting him, but that was the result. That's what got Total Biscuit involved, which then opened it up to a much larger audience. That is one of the things that helped bring in Adam Baldwin through Internet Aristocrats videos. It wasn't me who kicked off Gamergate. It was a series of events that led to it. And one of them was censorship. A big one was censorship. I would argue the biggest push was the censorship, because it's very, very, very hard to hide from it. We live in the digital age where everything is archived. And as a result of that, you just straight screwed yourself, our DC Comics. Whoever mod wrote this is a moron of epic proportions. You literally do not know the hell you are going to unleash upon your subreddit when you sit there and say, so by all means, try us. Idiot. This is the internet. You don't sit there and say, go ahead and try me, fellas, and expect not to get your ass caved in. Seriously. Anyway, It goes on to say, this post was not coordinated with our comic books. Both subs came to an independent decision that we would not see the same doxing, 1x, not 2, you dumbass, threats and toxic environment overtake comics discussion in the way it did other entertainment media in the past. Rather than turn a blind eye, we prefer to take a stance. It is not out of fear, but clarity we spoke on this issue. Well, it's looking for clarity. You're having a hard time wiping away the fog. Have you thought about putting down your pot for a minute, getting a little bit clear-headed, and then go, oh no, what have we done? What have we done? We've made the biggest mistake ever. Because it's true, you have. This is so dumb. You're telling people to go ahead and try you. It's the internet, man. Like, don't tell the internet not to do something, right? Look, even though 4chan will say things like, you know, not my personal army or not your personal army, they also look for things to become a personal army over. They look for things to get mad about. And this is one of the things that's going to get people mad. Just imagine, and I'm not telling anyone to do this by any stretch of the imagination, but just imagine if all of a sudden our DC Comics was rated by trap threads or gore threads, you know, or Rule 34 threads about certain, you know, it's going to like, this can happen. You anger the internet long enough and it's going to end up hurting you. Now, as mentioned in the PSA, there's also a cross post over on our comic books by the moderators who have posted a similar message that says, there's been a growing movement on the internet in the last few years about targeting certain creators. These creators have been targeted, include but aren't limited to women, members of the LGBT community, religious minorities, and people of color. I love to say that, well, they're not like all targeted, like, you know, everyone's targeted, but these are the ones we're going to focus on because it's like clearly going to have the largest level of emotional impact on our readers. Because we're not trying to play this emotional game at all. We're simply not trying to play on people's emotional heartstrings in regards to this issue to support censorship. We're not that bad. No, you are that bad. You're kind of that bad. These groups on the internet threaten creators with harassment and violence because these creators don't support their views. If you are one of these individuals that have threatened or harassed people, you are not welcome in the subreddit. Does that go for comic book creators and artists and everyone else who works on the team that's gone on Twitter and outright attacked the audience? Again, that was one of the things that started Gamergate, people. When you had game developers, well, not so much game developers, but you had the journalists. Hence why Gamergate, for me, was more about ethics in video game journalism, because what you had were these groups that were trying to, you know, use their platform to shout down opinions they did not like because it wasn't within their San Francisco bubble. This is what starts these kind of conflicts. You think you're doing the right thing. You're literally doing the opposite. I'm not saying to like allow harassment or allow violence or discussion or things like that to go on, or violent discussion to happen. What I mean is, like, you are seriously just going to hurt yourself because this is going to anger some people. All right. So then it says outlets like Inverse are reporting that the censorship of Comicsgate was in response to a list circulating on social media of writers and artists that comic book readers claim are pushing regressive politics in the industry, and in turn are ruining the industry. And the thing is, this list isn't like a hit list or anything else like this. These are people that are like literally, you know, who was the girl that wrote Angela Queen of Hell and had the whole unsolicited opinions on Israel meme happen? Because, you know, Thor's grandfather is going to be sitting on the toilet going like, I really wonder what's going on in Jerusalem right now. Like, did Trump move over the embassy? Is that a done deal? I mean, like, clearly, the eastern side is not going to be happy, and there's going to probably be some violence. But, you know, hey, like, whatever. You know what? The Jews are going to Jew what the Jews are going to Jew. Like, no, he's not thinking that because the Norse God doesn't care what goes on in the Gaza Strip. They don't. Why? Does he want some, like, pita chips and hummus? Like, is that what's going on here? Is he really into the Wonder Woman movie? I have no idea. But no, they're not going to think about that. It says here that the list was to help consumers avoid comic books that these people work on, to try to avoid supporting what they feel is the degradation of the comic books industry. While the PSAs from both subreddits boards make it seem like as if Comicsgate was some kind of harassment campaign, the actual subscribers aren't swallowing the blue pill at all. In fact, many of them are quite aware that Comicsgate, much like Gamergate, is not about harassment. A female comic book reader reproached the moderator of DC Comics subreddit after he tried to state that Comicsgate was about targeting women, people of color, and those in the LGBT community. And this is what she says. Jesus, no, it's not. Female comic book fan here. I want to quickly pause. And I'm pretty sure she feels the same way, hates having to use that as a way to get like a conch shell in the argument, because that's what it boils down to. It's like Lord of the Flies. This pretty much, it's all Lord of the Flies. Okay. But whoever has like the conch shell generally is like trying to play up the most like, you know, oppressed thing about them. And it's all the identity politics game. But she's like trying to sit there and go like, no, give me the conch shell. You know, I have the conch shell. I'm also a female. That's how I got this. Saying here, that's not what it is at all. This is an attack on comics creators with conservative views or who happen not to think that all people who disagree with them are not Nazis. Did you see Ethan Van Sciver being attacked for his beliefs and people leading campaigns for firing him despite having never said a bad thing about women in comics? And this is a reality. People were making things up about him. But of course it's not going to matter because the die's already been cast and the narrative's already been solidified. This is why identity politics needs to stay out of these kind of places. It's not that you can't have an opinion. I just want to make that clear. You can have whatever opinion you want. I'm totally fine with that. All right. If you are a liberal writer who wants to write stories in comic books, you should have the same right as a conservative writer who wants to tell stories in comic books. The best way to approach it is to keep your opinions at the door. Now, that's not always going to happen. Let's be realistic, right? We're always going to interject our own thoughts and our own opinions. They're going to come through the narrative in terms of characters' actions or dialogues or whatever. And that ultimately is fine, provided we are aware of that and try to make it as objective and neutral as humanly possible. We don't get that in the case of the liberals, the progressives that come on in and they're like, everything has to be gay. Like, no, it does. Does it really? It totally does. Everything is gay. That plant, homosexual. Loves Ellen, right? Like, what does that do with Price of Tea in China? Like, none of it tells a good story. Oh, I'm not here to tell a good story. I just want to make that plant and that teapot have lots of sex because that sounds like fun gay time. I don't know, making that up, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. Anyway, Ethan Van Sciver, a comic book artist who has been harassed by SJW comic book community across social media and even threatened with violence. With help from journalists from the Comic Book Resources and Polygon, they've also attempted to launch campaigns to get him fired from DC Comics for being a conservative. Yeah, this is Comicsgate. Holy crap. No, I was wrong. So people who out there who were saying I was wrong, you were right. I just want to make that abundantly clear and say publicly here and now that I do apologize. The intersectional Inquisition. By the way, that's a good name. Nobody expects the intersectional Inquisition. No. Also did the same to artist John Malin, attempting to get him fired from Marvel for saying that current-day SJW mobs behave like Nazis during World War II. Perhaps that's going a little bit too far. Okay, I don't see like, you know, conservative comic book writers like taking their gold and shoving it up their ass as they get past the SJW Nazis coming to take them to camps. All right, like that's not happening. So there's a little bit on the hyperbole side there. Now, this kind of censorship in Comicsgate, which was to bring awareness to the comic books industry at large and the casual comic book reader, how the comic book industry has become enveloped in regressive politics. That is true. This is similar to Gamergate, which exposed massive amounts of corruption within the game industry, which led to the FTC updating and reinforcing their guidelines after disclosure, after Gamergate put together a campaign to improve the disclosure policies within gaming and the media industry. Gamergate also sought to enforce ethics policies by teaming up with Society of Professional Journalists for the Airplay event back in 2015 to discuss ethics in media journalism. And to many, that kind of signifies the end of Gamergate. All right. You seek out the Society of Professional Journalists and you get them to go, Gamergate was right all along. These things need to be disclosed and ethics need to be maintained. And as a result of that, these writers back in San Francisco are just like, it burns. Ethics, they burn. That's what they do. Because it's got to be the smog or the fact that they don't get enough vitamin D. It's always kind of foggy there. They should go get supplements from Costco. They might feel better. Perhaps a suppository or two. Could make them feel pretty good. Despite encouraging multiple online outlets updating their ethics policies. The media still claimed Gamergate was about harassing women and minorities out of the industry and purposefully ignoring movements like Not Your Shield, which is very true. The narrative for Comicsgate is the same, with the media and many politically regressive communities claiming that the movement is about harassment. Regardless of what the media says, the consumers aren't wrong about the politics affecting sales. The sales have been so bad for Marvel's comic book division that they had to cancel some of their more politically charged books heading into 2018. They also replaced their former editor-in-chief, who heavily pushed for the feminist-themed comic books over the past 6 years, all in hopes of righting the ship, which is true. We've seen these Mockingjay asking about my feminist agenda books crash and burn. And it's not that these thoughts don't have places in stories, because I do think that they do. We can learn from different ideologies through the stories. But it's just like Ghostbusters 2016, and going back to an analogy that I made earlier. They took nostalgia, pulled it from their ass, and crammed it down your throat. That never works. You can never cram things down a reader's or viewer's throat and expect a positive response. Nobody wants to gag on that shit. And that's what happens here, is they're not given a choice. And when they exercise their right to complain and to criticize, they are then branded the worst of the worst, simply because they have an alternative opinion. That is why these things are important to talk about. That is why these things are important to discuss. Because these people, let's face it, let's be bluntly realistic here. They're bad. They are bad people who think that they're good doing right things. They're not. Censorship, blocking of conversation, blindly labeling those with a difference of opinion Nazis is not how you seek progress. It's how you engage in a cultural civil war that ultimately has no real winner. But at the end of the day, you're still going to lose, because the people out there with common sense outweigh you tenfold, and eventually they're going to see that you are the fraud that you are and kick your ass to the curb. Now, it finishes up here by saying, if the media continues its attack on the comic book industry in the way that the gaming industry attacked its own consumers, it could easily disrupt Marvel's plans to lure old fans back into the fold. At that point, one would have to question what Marvel and DC's plans would be if the media positioned the industry against its own customers. Well, considering the fact that, let's just be realistic here, when it comes to Marvel, most of the stuff that does well for them is all coming out of the movies. So they're trying new things here. But I've seen someone post on Twitter, there's no Trump supporters who work for Marvel. And I was like, y'all should go look up Ike Perlmutter. Ike Perlmutter is the CEO of Marvel. I think like proper, pretty much, like Marvel Comics, Marvel Television, like this kind of Marvel, right? He may answer to like Bob Iger over at Disney, but he's the one who runs that shit. Kevin Feige runs Marvel Studios, which is now kind of like an offshoot of that. Kevin Feige doesn't answer to Perlmutter anymore. Perlmutter came under fire in the 2016 presidential election because he is friends with Donald Trump and gave Donald Trump's charity for Army vets like $1 million. People lost their minds at that. This is the dude who basically oversees the stuff with the comic books department. And so, yes, all of you who work for Marvel Comics, all of you, every single one of you who cry and complain that people with conservative opinions are like Nazis, guess what? You work for a guy, ultimately work for a guy who supports Trump. Don't you think that your best course of action would be to quit your job and move on, so then you're not feeding the beast and therefore giving profits to a man who supports the person you hate the most? Just saying. That was a long one. I apologize for that. That was a long one. Holy crap. Oh, man. I'm sorry, guys. That went on for like 20 fucking minutes. That was a long one. The next two aren't that long, I promise you. The next two are not that long. Wow. Oh my God. I need some water. Did you guys like it? Was it good? Was I impassioned enough? I'm hoping I was funny. I'm hoping it was at least a bit funny. Ah, man. What's the worst Marvel comic? What's the one where like Jean Grey imprinted on Iceman that he was gay? That was interesting. The last part was so deep thought. That's right. Marguerite Bennett wrote Angela. Yeah, Angela Queen. Hell yeah. What do I think of the soy meme? Soy meme's pretty dead. Pretty dead. Oh, we got ourselves a super chat here, as you can see on screen. We have a super chat. This is what happens when you bypass the oppressive nature of not super chats. You bypass the oppressive nature of Google and super chats. You go to Streamlabs here. You get edit 49er $5. Thank you, sir. Let me take a look, see what your message says on there. For some reason, the messages aren't coming in. I need to fix that. Let me take a look here, and it says, all right. All right. So he says here, sometime you should dive into smaller channels. I know I have some videos that could bring up some interesting conversations. Yes, I'm paying $5 to whore myself out. So everyone go Google EDT49ER. Check out his channel. I'm gonna definitely check that out. Let me just Google that so I can look it up later on and everything. So he's got 329 subscribers and goes, from what I can see here, to a lot of comic conventions, which is pretty cool. So, all right, man, I will definitely check that out. Oh yeah, I haven't done the Batman White Knight reviews. I know. I'm sorry. I need to do. I feel bad. I haven't done more of those. I feel pretty bad. So okay. Marvel's got the better stories. DC's got the better characters. I actually agree. I do agree. That DC has the better characters. Like, I mean, better villains. Let's be fair. Better villains. Heroes on Marvel side are awesome. The heroes on DC side are great too. But really, it's the villains. That's one of the reasons why DC's focusing a lot on the villains, just to be on the just to kind of, that's where things are going. You know. So. Okay. I just got an email and it's like, I want to send you $20. And I'm like, oh, what's that? And it's like, oh, come back to the service you left. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. All new X-Men number 40. Yeah, that's what that one was. So yeah, there's a lot going on with that shit. But we got, all right, 118 likes. Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. All right, cool. I've got to start wrapping this thing up because well, I mean, I'm gonna do the last couple, but I gotta get to the baby here by about midnight. So let's jump over to this story. This ought to be an interesting one here. This ought to bring out some interesting conversation. So, what do you do when a bad person has bad things done to them? It's a question I think about, like, you know, empathy. A lot of times, right? Because look at this story here. Convicted killer William Cordoba wins damages over claim he was prison worker's sex slave. Now, this dude's a convicted killer in jail for his crimes, and yet he won a settlement because he was a prison worker's sex slave. Do you feel bad for him? Should you feel bad? Are you allowed to feel bad? Or can you allow yourself to feel that way? It's a tough question. And honestly, I'm not too sure how I feel about this yet. Do I feel like he should be a sex slave? No. But I mean, no, obviously not. But I mean, like, do I feel bad that it happened? That's kind of where I'm stuck on the empathy level. But it says here, William Cordoba sued Sylvia Polidio over allegations of abuse at San Quentin State Prison. And this is the guy right here. So a convicted murderer has won more than $65,000 in damages after claiming an instructor at a notorious U.S. jail turned him into her sex slave. Okay. William Cordoba, 57, claimed Sylvia Polido started sexually abusing him after hiring him as a clerk in her office trailer at San Quentin Prison. He described his legal action, how Miss Polido started flirting with him by saying, "Get closer, I don't bite." Now, Cordoba said they first had sex in May 2010 after she put his hand on his computer mouse and said, "Here, let me help you do this faster." Okay. I mean, that's, I guess you could say, innocent enough. That's a bit of a meet cute sort of thing. It's all like, "Oh, I'm having so much trouble with this mouse. How do I double click it?" She comes over, puts his hand on it, like, "Here, let me help you do it faster." And then, of course, they're screwed in the closet like 5 minutes later. We've seen this in movies before. I've seen this on Skinamax. I mean, I've read about it on Skinamax. Now, 3 days later, Miss Polito, a janitational vocational instructor, changed the locks in her office so that nobody could walk in on them during sex. Well, yeah, why screw up a good thing? At this point, it's kind of like, look, at this point, they're just kind of getting it on, right? That's what they're doing. They're just getting it on. He's in jail. This kind of stuff actually happens a fair amount, you know. And I honestly feel like restricting conjugal visits is one of the things that really keeps like violence in prisons high. And so like if you can, you know, and I think they should definitely, like, if an inmate wants to be able to hire a prostitute, should be able to bring in a prostitute. I fully believe that we should legalize, regulate, and tax prostitution. Just think of how much of a booming industry it would be for prison systems, right? Those guys would work, they make money, they pay it on hookers. They have a much calmer demeanor while they're in jail. I mean, listen, you could probably put a dude away for 364 days a year knowing that he is going to get on one day a good BJ, right? He'll be like, oh man, yeah, if I'm a good boy, I get a BJ. And it's not Tyrone over there, or Miguel, or Hank, whatever. I don't want to, you know, or Lu Ping, or whatever. I don't know. I'm just trying. I don't want to, like, you know, try to claim one race over the other. Now, Cordoba was then forced to be her sex slave after she promised to help pay for a lawyer to work on his case. Oh, interesting. When he tried to back out of the abuse, Miss Polito took revenge, accusing him of harassment, and he ended up spending 9 months in solitary confinement. Now, that's cold-blooded. All right, like, that's cold-blooded. So this is where, okay, so this is where it gets crazy. So it starts off consensual thing, right? And again, like I said, prostitution should be legalized, regulated, and taxed. And then she's like saying, if you don't, you know, we have sex, I can help you get a lawyer to work on your case. Well, this dude's a convicted murderer, right? So it's like, you know, I'm just saying. Like, I mean, he has his own agenda and his own agency. I'm not trying to say this dude, like, it should be treated anything bad. She lied about him and got him, you know, she basically pulled a Me Too, essentially, and got him 9 months in solitary. Or she pulled the Christina Garcia. Got him 9 months in solitary. Again, there's a level of, like, that question of empathy, apathy comes into play quite a bit here. Now, the prison workers' attorney argued Cordoba was delusional. A jury awarded Cordoba $15,000 for harm and $50,000 in punitive damages following a 6-day trial, saying all people have the right to be free from sexual abuse. Cordoba's lawyer, Julia Allen, told the New York Daily News, saying that doesn't change just because a person is incarcerated, which I do agree with. Cordoba is serving a life sentence for second-degree murder and robbery in San Francisco in 1981. Okay, so the dude's been locked up since the 80s. All right, this guy right here. But, you know, lady comes in, teaches them a trade. They get down, they get dirty, whatever. Ultimately, I'm not against that at all. But her holding his, I guess you could say, freedom, essentially, and forcing him to act in that way in order to you know, kind of ply him with the hope that he would get, she'd help pay for a lawyer to look over his case, is clearly abuse of power. There's no mistake about that. And then, of course, to then lie about him, to claim sexual harassment, to get him 9 months in the hole is a clear abuse of the situation. And at no point is that anywhere good. I don't care if they're having a consensual relationship, because what he does in prison is not going to impact my life at all. But being in that situation is clearly not good. And I am glad that he was able to get, you know, some punitive damages out of it, because that is something that that is unfortunate. A guy in his position would not have the benefit of the doubt against an accusation like that. He would not be able to have due process. Now, obviously, this article is short, doesn't go into more details, but how they were able to prove that that, you know, he was a sex slave, or he was being sexually abused by this woman. But it happens. And I think out there, a lot of women know, especially in prisons, that they know that these men are, like I said, they're lonely. They you know, they want some loving, and they can probably use them in a certain way in order to get what they want, and to give them what they need, that type of human companionship that's not being forced at the end of a shiv or something, you know, like, so there's that. I just, I feel glad that this dude was vindicated in that regard. I feel glad that he got his money. It'll make his life in prison a little bit better. He's not going anywhere. So it's kind of a moot point to, you know, it's kind of a moot victory, so to speak. But it does go to show you that there are false accusations that are made against men, and that men can be abused. And I think at the end of the day, regardless of making jokes at this dude's expense or talking light of the situation, that should be something that is ultimately looked at in terms of a positive. Because those kind of stories don't get the light of day. They don't get the coverage that they deserve to get. They don't get talked about. And when you bring it up, you hear oftentimes, no, men can never be abused. Men can never be victimized. It's all power plus privilege, blah, 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 Anita Sarkeesian. You hear that all the damn time. And so we have a court case now that absolutely positively shows us that it can happen, it did happen, and that there are ways to seek justice even if you are a convicted felon behind bars serving a life sentence for second-degree murder. All right. And Fwazeng Lang Entertainment, thank you very much for the $5, sir. I do appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you very much. So there's definitely definitely that. I know. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of that? I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts. Do you think that you know, there's it's good that this happened? Like, he's able to get it figured out. Do you think that he deserves that kind of treatment? Like, he deserves to be awarded that? I'm curious. Does he, you know, at least he's got money for lawyers now. Yeah, that's true. So it's a civil case, not a criminal one. Yeah, probably. I almost got your name right. Well, I appreciate it. What am I playing live on right now? Oh, there was a comment earlier saying I'm playing live. I didn't even see it. So, all right. Yeah, I know these streams are going late. Okay, let's do this last one here so I can wrap up. So I can get to my kid, because she is very much there. Oh, I need someone had said earlier I only needed 101 subscribers to hit 159,000. And I hit 159,000. Or sorry, I only needed 101 subscribers to get to 160,000 subscribers, and I was at 800, or I was at 899, and then it went up to 900, and then now it dropped down to 159, 889. Like, yeah, it's okay. It'll be there tomorrow. It'll be fine. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good, man. This is what I do. It's a fluctuating game all the time. But the more I learn about cryptocurrency, the more I'm going to be getting into that. Yeah, the guy still deserves due process. All right. Okay, where's my last one here? So we're going to do the last one. And the last one is also one that was in the thing. So there we go. And this one I didn't realize, but let me talk about. Okay. Final snaps or traps for the nights, guys. If you have any final super chats you want to kick out there, we'll be wrapping up as soon as this thing's pretty much done. So we'll get to those as soon as possible. But that's kind of where it's at. End of the night thing, you know, it's like closing time. Dun 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 dun. Anyway, let's do it. Snaps. You know, being a YouTuber is, or I should not say, not so much even being a YouTuber, being an internet personality with any modicum of a following is an awesome thing. It really is. Like, people, like earlier I showed the guy who sent me the Star Wars, you know, bib and burp rag for my daughter, handmade. It's awesome. People are some of the most amazing people you can find. And you meet them a lot more when you have a following, right? But there's also a dark, dangerous side to that. And that's something that doesn't get a lot of play, doesn't get a lot of discussion. And that is highly, highly unfortunate. Because this is going to sound weird to say, but we are people too. And we have thoughts, and we have feelings, we have emotions. And that's why I read this story about Meg Turney. And I followed Meg Turney, you know, for a couple of years now. I like her quite a bit. And, you know, I don't agree with her on everything politically, obviously, but I've always enjoyed her work. And I can understand this small amount, I should say, at what she might have been going through when this Albuquerque man targeted her. And this is something that I do fear daily, actually. You know, a couple weeks ago, my girlfriend's car was stolen from our house, from our driveway, Christmas night. And when it first discovered it was gone, my first thought was like, oh crap, did somebody find out where I live and took her car? You know, like that's where my mind went. I still have no idea if that was true or not. I don't think so, but still. So it says a YouTube celebrity couple hid in the closet late last month, calling 911 while people say a man searched through their home in Austin, armed with a gun and firing at least one round inside their house. As a new father, like I said, you know, that frightens the crap out of me. Less than 10 minutes later, the man was dead in the driveway, and the couple had not been harmed. This news didn't break around. Like, YouTubers freaking talk to each other, right? News will spread of this kind of crap, and it's just getting out now. I mean, they must have been holding on for a while with information, but that is insane. So it says here, Christopher Giles, police described as a single, lonely, and disturbed man, had made the 11-hour drive from Albuquerque, according to documents filed in the Second Judicial Court. And his phone was full of notes suggesting he had developed a fondness for the woman, Meg Turney, and a dislike of her boyfriend, Gavin Free. And I get that, right? I understand that. Like, you look at someone like Meg, who is a cosplayer. Her pictures get usually frequently to like are all on Reddit. If she posted like a bikini photo and there's a butt shot, I'll be surfing through Reddit. I'm like, oh, Meg Turney's ass again. Okay, right click, save as. But the point is, like, it's there. It's there. And it's one of those things where it's like, you know, frequent. And so in that moment, that person could sit there and look at that and look at those and just look at what she puts on her YouTube and on her Instagram or Snapchat or whatever, and develop a kind of connection. And the idea here when you do YouTube is they say, oh, it's you. It's you. You're connecting with people. Right? The idea is build your community, talk to your community, talk to these people. And you know, here's the truth, the honest to God truth. I'm sitting in a room in my home, looking into a camera, broadcasting out to over 200 people. I don't know who any of them are. Maybe a handful of them I've talked to. But for the most part, I don't know who's looking back at me right now. I don't know what they're thinking, what's going through their mind. And I'm not trying to insinuate anything. But that is a reality that those of us who do this job, we kind of have to we have to live with. Like 99.9% of people are freaking awesome, but it's that 1%. And I've dealt with nothing as crazy as this, but people who have messaged me, you know, and they've said like, I think of you like a brother. I love you like a brother. We should hang out. We should go do these things. And I never looked at it as being from a place of a malicious intent, but I definitely limited contact with that person after the fact, simply because I didn't know. I mean, it's like, yeah, man, like, look, that's cool, dog, but I'm a scoot over here sort of thing. But the person, I don't look at him as violent. I never did, but it catches you off guard. And, you know, when we deal with the thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people, our safety comes into play. And again, I'm being honest as I can be in the situation to let you guys know, like, this is a thing. Now, Turney, who's 30, was made famous through her video blogs on anime, relationship advice, and her life. Free, 29, is a co-host of YouTube's series of slow-motion videos. A search of Giles' cellular phone identified various notations identifying Meg Turney and Gavin Free by name. Furthermore, threatening thoughts were recorded by Giles and directed towards Gavin Free, i.e., I want Gavin Free to die alone and with no children. Now, if I were Gavin Free, I would sit there and go, oh, I've heard that before. Yeah, I get that all the time. That's like, I get that all the time. Except, haha, joke's on you, I have a kid. I could still die alone, let's be fair. Anyway, a spokesperson for the Austin Police Department said the case is under investigation, and she could not answer any additional questions about it. But part of that investigation includes assistance from homicide detectives with the Albuquerque Police Department, who served a search warrant on Giles' Northwest Albuquerque apartment a couple days after the shooting. According to that search warrant affidavit, around 3:40 a.m. on January 26, Turney and Free awoke to the sound of breaking glass and a gunshot. They hid in their bedroom closet and called 911 while Giles searched their home. Man, like, again, like, that is frightening. Like, I was recently at an event in Los Angeles back in October, and I met a company that puts like, you know, cameras, security cameras, and they're looking for like influencers in order to you know, to work with for, you know, to put the service in. And I have been really contemplating reaching out to them in order to set up some kind of arrangement, some kind of deal, simply because of stories like this. Now that this has happened, I'm learning about it tonight. I just learned about this before going live tonight. I'm like, I got to find their card. I'm going to reach out to them tomorrow because safety matters. Safety matters. And it's, you know, the last thing I want to hear is like my door break or my window shatter. And then, you know, the sound of somebody trouncing through my house trying to find me because of something I said on the internet angered them. Or the opposite. They want to come find me because they really think I have a sweet, sweet voice and they want to slide up in my DMs, aka my butt. Don't want either of that. Now, sorry. While he couldn't find the couple, Giles left, encountering Austin Police Department officers on his way out. The officers found Giles backing out of the driveway in his Lincoln sedan with New Mexico license plate and ordered him to stop. Instead, they heard a single gunshot coming from the car. An officer returned fire. Giles was pronounced dead at the scene, a .45 caliber handgun near his hand. According to the affidavit, Turney and Free were not harmed. In a press briefing on the day of the shooting, Austin Police Department Assistant Chief Troy Gay said that 2 officers were there, but that only one fired. A preliminary post-mortem examination by the Travis County Medical Examiner found that Giles may have shot himself, according to the affidavit, but an official ruling on his matter of death is underway. And I would say he probably did shoot himself. You drive 11 hours from Albuquerque to Austin, track down ultimately the girl of your dreams, because that's what she would boil down to. You break in their home, you search it, you can't find them, and then on the way out you encounter the police. It makes sense. It does. It makes sense. Tragic, because you don't want anyone to kill themselves, but it's like, you get it. Giles' family members could not be reached by the Journal. Neither Turney nor Free responded to phone calls. Now, throughout the investigation, the Austin Police Department detectives found chilling evidence about what Giles might have been up to. They said security footage shows him searching the home for the residents, a gun in hand. Based on the footage seen, it was apparent that Giles' sole intent was to cause harm to someone who resides there, the detective wrote in the complaint. And as we could tell from his previous text messages, he wanted to take out Gavin. On Giles' cell phone, they found even more clues, various comments about Free and Turney, according to the affidavit, and more than 1,000 other notes, including his dislike of Free. Yeah, Free was the target here. I would move the hell out of Austin. The detective said it was apparent that Giles had developed a fondness for Turney and yet resented Free for his lifestyle and success. The dude makes cool videos. I mean, I think we all can agree that those videos are freaking awesome. And he deserves a success for creating such a cool product. I'm just saying, I agree with that. Albuquerque Police Department detectives who executed a search warrant in his home, and Albuquerque said Giles lived alone and was an avid player of video games and was known for watching YouTube videos that were centered on his hobby. I don't like that line specifically because I think that it does put it can be used as a negative light, a negative thing on gamers. I know a lot of gamers watch my content. I know a lot of gamers watch a lot of my friends' content. And the last thing I want for any one of those people is to be labeled as a potential homicidal maniac because they watch YouTube videos about gaming and they play video games. I'm tired of this type of nonsense being attributed to gamers. Let's be realistic here, but we'll finish this here. Detectives took 2 cell phones, a laptop, 2 tablets, and an Xbox gaming system from his home, saying based upon the known circumstances and investigative findings, your affidavit is led to believe that evidence related to the planned burglary and homicides of Meg Turney and Gavin Free will be found. Well, I would argue that Gavin, yes. Megan, eventually. If he killed himself as quickly as he did, he would have gotten what he wanted out of her, or made the attempt. And he probably would not have gotten it. Because, to be fair, Meg feels like a fighter. I'm not saying Gavin isn't. I'm just saying, in that moment, fight or flight kind of thing kicks in. So, it's tragic. You know? These are the things I fear myself. I don't let them control my life, but the thought's always there. I'm curious if I go to a meetup and I meet somebody that says, hey, Matt, if I'm in public and I hear that, Is it a person who's going to be friendly, or are they going to be a foe? Are they going to be wanting to shake my hand and get a picture, or are they going to want to punch me in the face or shoot me? I mean, that is literally the way that it goes. It's very much those two choices. And trust me when I say it's usually always the former. The latter makes a brief appearance, but you can usually read someone's body language or something, and then as soon as you see it, it goes away. But that is an issue. And I can only, as a fellow content creator on this platform, as a fellow person of the internet, do nothing but give undying support and sympathy and empathy to Megan and Gavin. Because I'm sure those of you who are watching know I was swatted about 2 years ago. And I view swatting as attempted murder. So I get it. I didn't have a crazy man with a gun come to my place. I had someone call the police. And as we've learned recently, that can end in death. So I get it. I really do. And I honest to God hope it never happens again to anyone who undergoes this as a job, as a career, as a hobby. Can't say that's going to happen. Can't say that's going to be the case, but it's what I fear. And that's never going to go away. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy shit. Crazy shit. All right. So there was another $5 super chat from Mr. DJ Fly High saying, is the next Slow-Mo Guys video going to be killing an intruder? That's pretty good, man. I will definitely give you credit on that one. I'll definitely give you credit on that one. Oh, wow. That's pretty good. That's pretty fucking funny. So, yeah. Yeah, we'll do some final questions here. And I should probably get going, but yeah, we'll take some final questions for a few more minutes. Let's see. Jeeves asks, I'm looking kind of red. Am I okay? Yeah, it's warm in here, and I think I need to adjust my lights to come on me more. Or I need to turn the backlight down so it's kind of like the blues are behind, and it's looking a bit, pinkish. I might have the backlight turned up too much. Yeah, I think it's a bit more on my hair than it usually. It's not meant to wash it out. It's meant to just whatever. So yeah. Unknown Archive asks, do you have AIDS? No. Unless I'm singing the song Everyone Has AIDS from the Team America World Police soundtrack. Everyone has AIDS. AIDS, AIDS, AIDS. Ace Frey here, $2 super chat saying, do you wish to wash an Irish wish? Do you wish to wash an Irish? Do you wish to wash an Irish? You fucking asshole. Do you wish to wash an Irish wristwatch? God fucking damn it. Do you wish to wash an Irish wrist? Fuck. I'm done. You got me. You got me. Oh, okay. Well, Unknown Archive, yeah. Tony Izzo asks, how was my day? It was okay, man. It was okay. I was out of town. I went out of state yesterday. Came back home, got some sleep finally. And then had to run some errands. Today was my brother's 22nd birthday. So had to make sure he got his stuff, and then got some gaming in, a little bit of gaming, played some Quantum Break on Xbox One, which I'm a big like Sam Lake fan, but I do not like the combat in Quantum Break. I'm kind of like, the game's okay, like it's a good story, but I'm kind of bored with it. I just kind of want to like, you know, rush through it to finish it because I really want to get on to other games. Let's see. Thoughts on Anglin Sargon and Sargon's plans to propagate the white race across the world via love. I caught part of the Anglin Sargon thing, and it was just dumb. You know, it was just really dumb. Like, Sargon does, you know, Sargon likes to fuck with these guys, and just that's how he likes to do it. So, end the video with blowing a kiss at the camera. Mwah. So, send people some tongue twisters. Yeah. Was Meg Turney's home really invaded? Yeah, it was, man. And then the guy shot himself in the head when he was confronted by police. It's fucking horrifying. Unknown Archive asks, why don't you invite some white nationalists on your stream? Is Andy Worski up right now? Can I give him a holler? Get him in here? I mean, he would know who to talk to. Basically serves him right now. Follow up to that. Why don't you become a white nationalist? Because I don't really want to. Not for me, man. AW says, I am a pheasant plucker. I pluck mother pheasants. I am the most pleasant mother pheasant plucker who ever plucked a mother pheasant. I can do that one, but that Irish wristwatch is because the ish gets you. That's where I get caught up. You're playing Obsidian's PoE right now. I've never played the Pillars of Eternity. I know the sequel's coming to the Switch, and part of me is like, I should totally get it on the Switch and play it, but I don't really play my Switch now. I need to play it more, but I don't. So, how many siblings? I have 6. I'm the eldest of 7. In PUBG, we should build a firewall to keep the Chinese off the North American servers. Come on, man. Yes, I completely agree. The cheating bastards. Although it's fun to run around and just go, China number 1. China number 1. I just partly said the 14 words. Did I? Let's see. Does streaming help get you over wanting to give on the... What do you mean to give on these news stories? Well, I like doing the streaming and the recording content for the next day because, for one, it allows me to interact with you guys. It allows me to kind of talk and laugh and have fun, and then I feel like that energy transfers itself into the videos, right? So like when people watch and they're not here, like it feels like it's more of a fun time, right? Or it's more than just me doing that. Like I feel like I'm talking to an audience, and therefore I feel more energized. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. Let's see. Oh, Shark that makes videos saying, hey, you just watched all the Cloverfield movies. Awesome. Which one is your favorite? Mine's still the first one. I love 10 Cloverfield Lane, and I do like Cloverfield Paradox. So you hear white nationalists have great parties. They even bring their tiki torches. Yeah, no, I hear that too. It's just the tiki torches are one thing, you know, really it's the khakis that bother me and the polo shirts. It's like, can't you think of something more festive than like you all came from the same Gap? No words without money. I like money, but I'm also, you know, that's how it is. No, oh, wait, hold on. Okay, so I don't give up on the news stories. There's a lot that's always going on. I like to talk about it. On Friday's $3 Theater stream, because I took Thursday off, I did 11 fucking stories. I was done by the end of that. I was done. Do I ever watch Hidden Xperia? I don't. I'm sorry. So I do like, yeah, who doesn't like money? What's the most racist movie I've ever seen? Birth of a Nation? Even though like it was about the KKK at the time, I think it was also really sympathetic to the KKK at the time, so. Favorite thing about being a dad. My favorite thing about being a dad is, you know what? I'll show you. Give me a second. I will show you my favorite thing about being a dad. I have to just find the picture real quick. Let's see. Okay, 1 second here. This is my favorite thing about being a dad. That look. I love that look. I have an extremely beautiful little girl, and I love spending a lot of time with her. So she gave me that look the other day as I was getting ready to change her. She gave me that look. And so I quickly snapped the photo, and then I tweaked it in order to... she's looking at me in the photo. I'm just off the side. I just rotated it. But yeah, that's my favorite thing. That's what I like. Oh yeah, the whole Hasbro situation with the quartering and Andy. Yeah, I saw that. So. When am I gonna adopt that sweet 80s windswept hairstyle? Soon, man. Has to grow in again. I didn't put any shit in it tonight. Usually I put like putty in. Okay, I was like, okay. If memory serves, that was going to be 3 Buck Theater main channel, wasn't at some point. Yeah, 3 Buck Theater to become my main channel, still my goal. Still do these streams and other content, but like not have to solely rely on this, because believe it or not, talking about entertainment content pays a lot more than talking about general news stuff. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I'm making like a decent amount, but not enough to live off of yet, off just that channel, but like it's growing and growing and growing. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's consistent and it's niche, not niche. Jesus, I'm not staring into the abyss. But, and I love talking about general stuff, and I love talking to you guys. So I want to just kind of make this the thing. Do this as the show, and just have this be the one show that goes up, you know, do it 2 hours, hour and a half, whatever. It's done. It goes out there, bring in more YouTubers, and just not have to worry about it. Focus on doing 3 Buck Theater content and make that my focus. And this can be more fun. That's a lot of where it's at right now. As weird as that sounds. That's a lot of where it's at. So. Yo, yeah, the song about Andy Worski, I saw that. Let's see, what shirt size and coat do I wear? I wear extra large. So what if my daughter becomes a white nationalist? Then I will have failed her as a parent? I don't know. Do I predict that Chris Ray Gun will be featuring Worski in the Kumite in the social justice music video? No. As far as I know, Chris has not engaged. I haven't talked to him about it at all. I don't know. But it's, you know, he hasn't really been engaged much in it on Twitter. And I think he's just focused on that right now, because it's not really like social justice-y. Even though it does come across like the Kumite and Andy Worski a bit on the, they kind of act like what they hate, especially Andy. So you become a big fan of the Persona game series. I've never played. Never played. But what if you are staring into the abyss? What if that is really reality now? Then Christ, man. We're all doomed. So as a guy who works graveyards, appreciate the streams. Well, thanks a lot, Some Dumb Jerk. Appreciate it. I've never played Nier Automata. It's what if my daughter becomes a weeaboo? Ugh, God, anime. I don't know, man. Her aunt is kind of a weeb, so. Have I ever thought about getting into some internet blood sports? I would probably do it on Twitter, but I won't, you know. I have no real desire to. If anything, I just like to shitpost from a distance. So, I'd be like, you were the chosen one. It was said you would destroy the white nationalists, not join them. I guess it's very true. You predict that my daughter will become a ruler of the internet or a lawyer? A lawyer would be good. Which kind of Star Wars planets do I prefer? The more grounded with a bit of fantasy ones like Tatooine, Scarif, and Endor, or the more out there ones like Geonosis, Kashyyyk, and Upadu? I mean, Kashyyyk is more fantasy based. It's mostly trees. Kind of like Endor. I mean, Endor and Kashyyyk were kind of the same freaking thing ultimately. But I really liked Scarif, man. I loved the design of Scarif. So I prefer those kind of planets. However, Coruscant would be really cool to just kind of chill around in. Find some death sticks. Do I think that if GG evolved into Mediagate like it should have, we would have avoided the rise of the alt-right? No, I mean, I don't necessarily think that Gamergate led to the rise of the alt-right, because the alt-right, here's the thing, and I'll kind of end with this because I kind of have to. Ultimately, what I feel, and I could be wrong, but this is just kind of how I took it. What you had was you had Milo and you had Mike Cernovich and you had Paul Joseph Watson, conservative commentators that were saying we're alt-right. But their version of alt-right was more like alternative, internet savvy meme warriors that just want to shitpost and piss off feminists. That's really about it. All right. That's kind of about what they were in saying that term. When they were talking about the alt-right and publicizing the alt-right, I think they legitimately thought they had created something wholly new. But then here comes Richard Spencer. He's like, oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. And ultimately, Richard Spencer is as benign as anything can be. He's just a tourist in the alt-right. You know, he does it for effect, for money, for popularity, for fame. But when he came out with that whole "Hail Trump, hail our people," Milo, Mike, and Paul all freaking scattered to the wind. Which goes to show you that, for one, they don't really think before they talk. Period. And two, they were in over their head with that. But as a result of that, then it became kind of tied together. And even though I don't look at Mike or Milo or Paul as the alt-right, they did help give it prominence in some respects. And that's on them. That's nothing to do with Gamergate. So, oh, hey, what's up, Chris? How are you, buddy? What the fuck? Have you been here for a while? A wild Chris Ray gun appears. Jesus Christ, dude. Fucking hell. I said Chris's name 3 times. He's appeared. Damn it. Now everyone knows his secret. He's fucking Beetlejuice. Christ, man. No, I do have to go take care of the kid. I gotta try to get her. Fed here in a few. Simply because it's, you know how it is. She's 2.5 months. What color lightsaber would it be? I like green. It's fine with me. So what's my definition of the alt left? Is there such a thing as the alt left? I've heard of like the salt left, but I thought it was just people who are really bitchy. That's all. I really thought about that. So the Milo Cernovich alt-right is not the same as the alt-right that's prominent now. The ethno-nationalist is right. Well, no, the DKJ, that's what I'm talking about. Is their version of the alt-right. Their version of the alt-right is one thing, like meme warriors and shit. But when Richard Spencer came on the scene as a result of that, then they scattered. Then they stopped saying they were alt-right. So yes, they're not the same thing at all. So, oh, I'm very much looking forward to seeing Chris and Lacey again at VidCon. Hopefully with less drama this time, in terms of certain people. But otherwise, no, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Chris, I don't know if you're still here. We've been looking at some Airbnb houses. The holidays and I have been, and that's something we're going to be looking into. So, you know, talk to us if you're not looking to sleep on a couch again this year and you actually want a bed. The place we are looking at sleeps 8. Like a mini compound with a pool, 15 minutes from the convention center. So, in terms of walking. But of course, we're going to take Ubers and Lyfts because we're lazy. We're lazy YouTubers. We're in, well, you live in LA, but like, you know, those of us have to fly in from out of state. Just saying. So anyway, I do need to I do need to fuck off. I've been on for about 2.5 hours now, and yeah, I got to go take care of my kid and do all that stuff. So I'll be back on tomorrow night, probably about 9:30 again. Again, I want to try to get it as maybe as early as 8 p.m. As an idea my girlfriend and I were discussing. And I'll be back with 5 more stories. If you guys do want to jump into the Discord, link in the video description. And there might be some people who are watching this right now who get into a voice chat in there. And then maybe a wild Matt will appear.